sleep, I need peace. What's wrong with me? Mind racing, heart pacing. I feel caged in, I need sleep, that's a fact. Well, ease your mind with Nightcap for the Insomniacs. Lay down, listen deep, breathe with ease. Count sheep, you're at peace, now you're fast asleep.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Jasmine Carter, and welcome back to Nightcap for the Insomniacs, a podcast, a show, background noise, whatever you want to call it, where we talk about random things because I can't sleep and neither can you. And we just gonna talk today, okay? And if you're not in the bed, get in the bed. Get in the bed, lay it down. Lay it down right now. Okay? And if you can't lay down, if you're in the car, pull your seat back. Lay down, okay? Lay down and close your eyes, and we gonna breathe in. And we just gonna let it go. We're gonna do it one more time. And we just gonna let it go. Okay. There we go. Now that we're grounded, we're laying down. Turn the brightness down. You don't need to see me. You just need to listen, okay? I'm sorry it's been so long. I did the first 2 episodes. Pretty back to back, and then like life kind of happened. My granddad died August 14th, and I was back home in Cleveland with my family during that process, and it was kind of strange. I think that's kind of what I want to talk about today. I think I want to talk about death and grief, because that's probably somebody's reason for being up right now. The truth of it is that, everybody's going to go one day, and that's okay. And from the things that I've discovered about death is death isn't painful. The process of dying could be, there's sickness, there's disease, there's, violence, but the act of dying itself is not, and I never really understood that, nor did I believe it until I was watching my grandfather die. It was very interesting. What's that drug? DMT? That it's one of the most powerful drugs, and it's natural, but your body only produces it when you're born and when you die. And I never really truly believed that death can be peaceful and beautiful until I was watching my grandfather die. It was strange to see. I'm old enough to know and understand, but it really was kind of a weird thing to process, because it literally was like it was kind of fast, but not at the same time. I guess it seemed fast to me because the news that I was getting was seeming like back to back as far as my granddad's health was concerned. And I was planning the trip to come home because I had learned that his health wasn't really in the best place. And I planned the trip to come home and talk about divine timing. I had planned it a month prior, before we had any devastation or devastating news. And it just so happened that it worked out where I landed on the 12th, I believe, something like that. And I was able to spend 2 days with my grandfather before he died. So I hadn't seen my granddad in a long time. I had seen him 2 years prior when I randomly came home one day, and my sister was like, let's go to granddad's house. And I really didn't want to, just because I just was depressed and just in that weird place. And when you're away from your family for so long, when you move away, because all my family's in Cleveland, you kind of there's a disconnect, and then now you're playing the catch up game and getting to know you game, and that could be a bit exhausting. But and I really wasn't in the mood for that 2 years ago. But I'm glad that I went, because had I not gone then, the last time I had seen my grandfather, if I didn't go 2 years ago, would have been in 2018. And of course, then when I found out my granddad was dying, there was guilt that came with that. Like, I lost so much time. Like, you really think that these people are here to stay, and they're really not, you know. Um, but I didn't really beat myself up about it, because again, I'm out here in LA following my dreams, and I missed a lot, but I did get to spend my granddad's final moments with him, and I got to say goodbye virtually, and not too many people can say that they're able to do that. So when I landed in Cleveland, I think it was a Monday, and I went straight to the hospital, uh, and I had already like watched my father's health decline, and I was already kind of prepared for it. But it is a hard sight to see when the last time you remember a person being so big and vibrant, and even in his, like, he wasn't really health wise, he wasn't well, but he still seemed so very strong. And my granddad was like, I got there and he was like, yeah, so I want you to, before my funeral, I want you to tell jokes. And I was like, Granddad, I don't know about that. It just seemed like a crazy thing to even digest. But if he could, I'm like, okay. And he was like, tell me some jokes. He wanted me to run it by him what I was gonna say, uh, I'm grateful that I got to be able to do that. I got to virtually get the approval from my granddad on what I would say about him when he was no longer here. And I went home. Then the next day we went, and he kind of was just sleeping. And then we were there for a couple hours. My family, my mom, my brother, my nephew. We was kind of there for a minute, and then we was there for hours. And then we left, and then we got a call that this was probably it. And when you hear that, it's like it's real, but it's not in the same sentence. I was like, wait, what? So I'm like, I'm not really knowing what to expect. So my mom told me, like, you don't have to go. And I'm like, well, what do you want to do? Are you going? She was like, I'm his child. I said, well, I'm your child. I'm going. So we go, and he's still like kind of sleeping, and like the rest of the family was like making their way in, and the nurses were so sweet. They were like, we're gonna take him off this breathing machine, because we don't really, it's just keeping him like sleep, like we don't really know. But when they took him off the machine, it was like he had this burst of energy. So we were like, oh, he's gonna be fine. And people say, like, in your final moments, you do get like a burst of energy. My granddad had been asleep for hours. I mean, we got there like 11 in the morning. We left at like 2, 3, and then we came back at 5. And he had been asleep until about 7. And we're like, nah, like 5:30. So he was like, he want to go outside. So the nurses was coming in, checking on him, giving him hugs and stuff. And I knew that they were saying goodbye. Like, we all knew. My granddad knew too. And it was just beautiful, because you could just see like the impact that he had on these people in such a short amount of time. And like, even though I missed a lot of moments with him, I'm able to see what his impact was on people in my absence, you know? And that was everything to me. So granddad said he wanted to go outside. So the nurses wheeled him. There was a big window in the hospital. And shout out to all the nurses at Metro Health in Cleveland. Y'all really did y'all big one to make sure my granddad was comfortable and wasn't in any pain in his final moments. And shout out to y'all. Hopefully, if any of you see this, Reverend Charlie Goodman, you took care of my grandfather. I appreciate you. I don't remember the nurse's name, but they rolled his bed out to the hallway, and we was watching the sunset. And this was like in his neighborhood, like where he was living. And we like listened to music, and we took pictures. And he was like, talking to the nurses, and was like, get in the picture with me because this is history. Thank you so much for keeping me comfortable and keeping me alive with my family. I love them. And he started to tear up. And like, I didn't want everyone to start tearing up because we kind of knew this was like it. So I let him have a moment, and I was like, come on, Granddad, I thought you said we was outside. And I did a little dance, and he started laughing. And we was like, listening to music. But I forgot to mention, when we got back to the hospital, before like they took him off of the breathing thing, my mom was like, they kept saying talk to him. The nurses kept saying talk to him. And my mom was like, because he was kind of like sleep, not in a coma, not unconscious, but he was asleep. But the nurses said that he can hear you, so talk to him. And I was stuck. I was so stuck. I just did not know what to say. I couldn't speak. And I just didn't know what to say. And I'm like, it's emotional. My sister's emotional. And it's just emotion. It was just emotional. And I was like, I was so stunned because it was just like, okay, this is real. Like, this is it. I'm going to watch him transition. And that was crazy to think about. It was crazy to process. I was like, what is it like? I had so many questions. I was so curious. I was like, what is it like? What is he gonna feel? Are we gonna see it? Is it, because you're watching on movies and it don't really, it's a movie or a TV show. It's not real, but here I am in this moment, and it just didn't happen like that. So we got out into the hallway. We listened to music. It's Teddy Pendergrass song my sister had said that my granddad told her to play when a man ain't treating her right. It's like The Biggest Fool, like Teddy Pendergrass or something. So we listen to that and we vibing. And my granddad he tearing his popcorn up, and then we got some food. So we were able to like watch the sunset. We were able to eat and joke and laugh. I got to make my granddad laugh, And then I remember like I could see it. I was just watching him very closely. I'm very curious. And he would just be like dazed. Like this. And I go, what'd you think about Granddad? And he was like, nothing. Just enjoying the view. And in those moments, how people say people are starting to transition, they starting to see people? He never said anything. And my granddad is a super religious man. But I was so curious as to, I wonder if he saw someone. Like, I wonder if he saw his mother, his father, his brothers that are no longer here, his sister, because he was just dazed. He'd just be like I was like, that's crazy. And then I knew he was fighting so hard. My granddad fought so hard. He was like, and I never understood what that meant until I saw it, because people really, 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 really do be they be fighting hard to be here, like, for the family. He was like, oh boy. Like, I knew he was tired. And then he was getting super tired. He had been up for hours. We were talking, and he was like, it looked like his health had turned around. His sisters are praying for him. And one of his daughters was coming into town, and he was like, when's she gonna be here? And they gave him a time, and he turned and looked at the clock. He was like, almost as if to say, like, he don't know if he can make it, So he got tired, and he was ready to lay down. Yeah. And we kept saying, "Oh, you might feel fine tomorrow. You're gonna be good tomorrow," because like his health had turned around, and we literally had hopes. So he was asking for specific grandchildren, and he wanted us by his bed. So we all like crowd around his bed, and like he was holding people's hands and saying like, he was like, "We love you, granddad," because I just couldn't do the thing where you goodbye or it's okay. My mom had already told him it was okay. He had fought long enough. It's okay, you know. But it was like, it's okay. It's okay, granddad. You can rest. Like, go to sleep. Like, as in, it's like giving him permission to go ahead and transition. Because I think he probably would have fought as long as he could. And he did. And he went to sleep. And then we watched him for a little bit. And I said, "Do you think he's dreaming?" And what I meant by that was that I was wondering if he was dreaming, but seeing his way into the next life. And he's a religious man, so, Christian man. So if he could see the gates of heaven. And I was just watching him. I was like, okay, well, maybe we see him tomorrow. So we got up, we went home, and then my mom, I got up real early. I was thinking about him all night, and it was just like, it was so sad to see, like, it was sad to know that that might have been the last time I saw him. But again, his health had took a turn. It would seem more positive, but I felt like everybody when he went to sleep started like crying, and I was like, "Is this it? Is this it? Is he gonna wake up in the morning?" I just didn't want it like to be dramatic and like traumatizing for anyone. So like the next morning, I got up around 6. My mom was supposed to go to the gym, and it was quiet in the house, and that's not really a good sign. It's my mother's father, by the way, and she was like, I was like, "Hey, Ma," and she was like, "Granddad died this morning." I was like, "What?" I mean, we knew, but you still have hope. And it was like, "Oh," I said, "How are you?" She said, "I'm fine," because they had known for so long. Well, not long, but like, I guess he had accepted it. My granddad was planning his funeral. He told us everything he wanted, and so he knew. So if he could accept it, we could accept it. And we spent the day looking at old pictures of granddad and finding pictures to get ready. Like, cause it's like you immediately start getting ready for the funeral. And we started like looking for pictures and stuff, and then my siblings came over and we started sharing stories about my granddad, and we learned a lot. My oldest brother has he's in his 40s, and he knows like a different side of my granddad. I knew my granddad when he was a saved man, and he was a pastor, and we did the choir at his church, and we did bake sales. My mom used to do baked potato sales and stuff like that. And, Easter speeches, Christmas speeches. We was definitely like a part of the church. And my granddad used to like drive us around Cleveland. Well, he used to rent a limo and drive around. We used to ride around Cleveland. And it seemed like he was a celebrity. And I was kind of sad because I don't really remember anything else. And I was sad because, like, when people were sharing their stories with granddad, they had so many more stories than me. Not that it's a competition, but no one talks about the guilt that you feel when you leave your family behind, because people are getting older, people are getting sick, people are dying, and you're just kind of like, You're missing out on birthdays. You're missing out on it all. But I was communicating that with my sister, and she was like, "You do have memories. Yours are just different." And I was like, "You're right. It is different." But it's still guilt, you know. I know what I'm doing is like the right thing, being here and pursuing my dreams, making a better life for, the next generation. But it's hard. It's hard when, your family is sitting around and talking about memories, and you don't really have any. Because, you only seen your grandfather twice in 6 years. You've been home plenty of times. You just ain't never made the time. And even though I never I didn't spend that much time, and I didn't make it my priority to go and see him, he still supported me. Like random calls, and he always told me how he was proud of me and called me movie star, even though I haven't been in a movie yet, so he's manifesting. So he understood, and he understood, and he supported that. He understood. He never gave me a hard time about it. He was like, "Yeah, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. I'm proud." He kept it. He just always said that he was proud of me, and I'm glad I got to hear that. So I said that to say, and it hits you out of nowhere, the grief. I'm not overtly devastated because we weren't super close, but he the only grandfather I ever knew, my dad's dad inactive in my dad's life, so of course he's not active in. I only met the man one time, and then my biological mother, who is not the mother that I'm talking about, my granddad that died was not technically blood, and that's another story for another day. But my biological mother's father, I don't know who he is either. I met a man that was, I guess she said was her father, but I don't even know if that's true. So he's the only grandfather that I knew, and he never treated me any different from, his blood grandkids. Cause he been around, I've been around, he been around since I was a baby. So, he was so proud of me, and I just felt bad, and I felt bad that I missed the funeral, man. It was just a lot. It was a lot to feel bad about, but I had to remind myself that no one feels guilt or any negative emotion but me. The family get it. They understand. If you're, and I'm saying this to y'all, but I'm saying it to me too. If you're thinking about leaving your family to pursue your dreams for whatever reason, going overseas, going to college in a different state or whatever, moving across town, and or if you are already doing that and you feel guilt within that, it's okay. Literally nobody who's worth being in your life and your family feels bad. They understand and they're supportive. Literally, I hadn't seen my granddad but twice in 6 years, and he was supportive of it. He was one of my number one supporter. I don't even think my granddad really seen a video. It wouldn't have been appropriate, but he still supported me. He never gave me a hard time about it. The family members that gave me a hard time about not making time to see them were people who really didn't mess with me, rock with me when I was there. So go and pursue your dreams. The people that get it, get it. And if you are pursuing your dreams in a different state, make the time to go see your loved ones. I know when you come home, it's difficult, it's hard, but they literally are here today and gone tomorrow. like that. Like literally, I was just eating popcorn and chicken wings with my granddad, and I was just talking to him and dancing and laughing, and then he was gone, like that. And I knew he was gone. I knew he was going to go. And a lot of times death is unexpected. So spend that time with your family members so there's no guilt when they do go. And when they do support you and they do love you dearly. And you got to live your life for you. You know? You got to live your life for you, not for other people. You can't stay in a place because people are getting older, because people are dying and things of that nature. You got to be you. You being happy is all they want, you know. Even if that means missing birthdays and missing graduations and first steps. And I mean, I tell you, I missed it all. My nephew was in college. I missed his high school graduation. He was at mine. I missed the birth of one of my nephews, one of my nieces. I missed 18th birthdays. I missed 21st birthdays. I missed it all. I missed a lot. 70th birthdays. I missed the 80th birthdays. I missed it. But I'm here, and they get it, and they never gave me a hard time about it. And it's okay to grieve randomly when you're grieving. It's okay. You know, that shit hit you out of nowhere. You be chilling, you be like, oh, God, my hamster. So, yeah. I think that was more so for me than y'all, honestly. Yeah. I think that's it. So hopefully you're asleep by now. And if not, just watch another episode, I guess. Just breathe in and breathe out. Just know that you are valuable, you are loved, you are important. Your family loves you, you are supported in everything that you do. It's okay. It's okay to do whatever it is that you want to do. Don't worry about what people got to say about you. Live authentically yourself, and the rest will follow. Y'all have a good night. I'm Jasmine Carter.
I need peace. What's wrong with me? Mind racing, heart pacing. I feel caged in. I need sleep. That's a fact. Well, ease your mind with Nightcap for the Insomniacs. Lay down, listen deep, breathe with ease. Count sheep, you're at peace. Now you're fast asleep.